Now we're going to add the bottom component, that beam element, across that window, and that will go between here. So I'm going to go to the reference level would be useless. We need to actually find, let me slide this on so it shows better on the screen. Let's go to a left elevation so we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. So this is the actual, this is the shape right now that's on the exterior of the building. This is the return back, to give it some depth. And we're going to make that new element right down here. And it's going to be 1 foot wide and stick out probably at least as proud, maybe just a little bit short of where the other element sticks out right now. So let's go ahead and once again, we're going to create an extrusion. We'll do it with the line tool again. Once again, we're going to want to have something inside here for the sill, but we're actually I'm going to let that run over this time. So we'll start at the face of the wall here, and we'll come forward. Let's say we'll do 5 inches. And I'll just leave it at that. And then I'll come back here. We'll come down that 1 foot. And let's say we'll come out. I think it is maybe 3 inches. Now we're going to combine, now we're going to close that off with a NURBS curve. And I don't quite like that little detail up there, but we'll leave it for now. I would actually think of almost making a little bit of a flat there. But one of the ideas here is we want this to be pretty curvaceous so that it really controls the way light falls on it. And so that looks pretty good. And now, like I said, we need that other piece of tile in there. So I'm going to go ahead now and use the rectangle tool. And we're going to draw another piece of tile. And this time we're going to have a little bit, I'm going to make this only 1 inch thick. And I'm going to pull it up so it doesn't conflict with the other one that we're drawing. So I'm going to move this up just 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to pull this out. Oops, not that way. I'm going to pull out until we're pretty much over the sill of the other one. And we'll go to the actually, oops, forgot to add a material. So let's go ahead and add a new material to this. Oops, I did a parameter. I want to click in front of this. And once again, we're going to create a new material. We'll call it Terra 2. I don't know what I keep doing wrong there, why I keep losing that. Let me rename Terra 2. And then we're going to go to the library and import another one of those porcelainized finishes. So I'm going to go to ceramic, porcelain, and I'm just going to pick another one. Just so I don't overlap with the same families, because we get that conflict sometimes. If we change one, it changes the other. So I'm going to use one that's completely separate. And we'll pick some new contrasting color, maybe some kind of a brownish tone. That's not necessarily, maybe something like that. Like I said, we can change this at any time. It's got a satin finish. It's got that wavy texture. We can turn it to gloss. Click apply. So now we got that texture on that material. And I think we're ready to complete it. And we'll go to that exterior view again to see where it's extruded out to. And we really want it to touch. We're going to let this actually come in until it touches that edge. Lock it. Pull it over here. Now that's a little further than we actually need it to be, but I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. I guess the other issue is whether we could. Let me just see if we can. I'm just going to remove those constraints and bring it right to the face of that other material and lock it there. I haven't done this before, so I hope it isn't going to give us any trouble. I've got something wrong here that it won't let me. There we go. Let me undo this one. I get my warning box coming up on the other screen. So let me pull this over. I'm going to remove the constraints. And I'm going to lock it to what's really the more appropriate surface here. That's the inside of that other terracotta material. And we'll mirror that up. I'll try to find some center here, see if that's the right center. And that does look right. And once again, we want to pull this back until it touches that surface and lock it. And do the same thing here. And might be a good time to actually save that. And then we'll load it back into the project. Overwrite the existing version. And it's asking me to save that. And then we want to just go to the south elevation, I thought. Oh, we can go back to that 3D view. This is a bad view. That's not the view we want. I forget which view I had. 3D view. This might be it. There we go. And so now we have that bottom element in place. And you can see how it's creating that nice glossy surface along the finish of this. So we have, now we only have this extra element, this spandrel element, to kind of place in between here. And I added that spandrel because it gives us, if we want to have square window systems, we kind of need a little bit of extra depth here to create a spandrel area for the changes in the ceiling and the, for the HVAC and mechanical in the facade. So let's go ahead now and quickly add that in. So we'll go back to the left side view of this. So we have that tile on the top and bottom now. And the last thing I said is we'll add this spandrel element down here. So I'm going to go to create an extrusion. And we'll use our line tool again. And we'll come down exactly 1 foot. I would, if this wasn't just sketching it, I would be doing that with a little bit of gap between everything. So we'll come out 3 inches there. We'll come out 3 inches here. And this is really a great chance for you to experiment with other kinds of ways of making shapes that you might be interested in. All I'm going to do is just create a tile like that. That gives us a nice shadow line under here. And it's got that same Terra 2, but we actually might want to change this one to the Terra 1 color just to give us some contrast. I'm going to complete that off and we'll go to the front elevation, the exterior. And we need to make a decision about where we want to pull it to. And I'm leaving it specifically a little bit short of this so that we could put another element in there. But I actually just could, let's do it a little differently, maybe save a little bit of construction time for you unless you want to experiment. I'll pull that right over to these edges and I'll save that and load it into the project. And we'll go to our 3D view 2. And there we have a relatively completed design. Now you'll notice that one of the reasons I left that held back is that it seems like this shape doesn't continue on as it passes through. And that's where I'd added that square element for a little bit of detail. That can be up to you in the way you might want to handle that. We can actually just do it by stretching these extrusions out so they go the full halfway through the other element. But in this case, I'll do it just like I did in the other project. I'm going to pull these. This is that spandrel part we made. We'll pull that back. I thought I had locked it to that. I guess I did not. Doesn't matter. Maybe this one is locked. Oh. All right. So those are both held back now. And actually, I'm going to do them. I want to go back to the very edge of that. And I got to say remove constraints. That's the inside of that tile sill. I'm going to lock it to there. And what I want to do is add a little square in here. So we'll go ahead and grab the create tool. We'll do an extrusion. We'll use our rectangle tool. And I'm just going to go from here up to, I'm not getting any indication of this edge here. So I'm just going to guess. It's not that critical. And we'll finish, let's take this back now to Terra 2 just for fun. And we'll complete its extrusion. And we need to look at this from the left side to see where we actually made that element. And we really want this element to come out kind of proud. And we don't need it to go all the way back like that because it would be buried in the wall. So that's pretty good like that. And we need another one on the other side. So I'm going to look at this from the exterior view. And I'm going to mirror that over to the other side. And we need to give it, we probably don't because we're not going to be flexing this parametric element, but I'm going to just lock it back to those same parameters. And I'll save it and load it into the project. And there we have it. So we're catching a little bit of an ugly highlight here that I would probably deal with in another way, where the two pieces transition. I'd probably pull this one a little bit in front of it so it didn't quite catch that. I'm also seeing a gap here, and I'm not sure what's going on there. It seems strange. I'll troubleshoot that, and I'll come back to figure out if I had done something wrong here that changed the relationships of that. So we'll pick that up in the next one. But that's our general, excuse me. So, you know, this might be a little bit goofy the way these two do this transition. You might find it interesting. You could change any kind of color scheme you'd want on this. So the next thing we'll look at, I'll try to troubleshoot the way these tiles are coming together. And the next thing we'll do is we'll finish it off by adding some windows in. And then you can, of course, go back in then and add first floor, like the entry condition. So we'll pick that up in the next clip.